before I go really far. Can you hear me? So I'm trying to do a live on earthing, and I started earlier. Can you tell me, David, can you tell me if you can hear me now? I just need to know if I can be heard. Tell me if you can hear me, because you couldn't before and I kept talking, so I just need to know. Can you hear me, guys? Yes or no? I'm going to assume no, since not one of you are answering.
Is that on TikTok, Nick?
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. Can you hear me?
I just downloaded it, so I'll let you know.
You can hear me. Okay, you can hear me now. Thank you, Mindy. I've been doing this live for, I don't know why people just sat there and watched me talking without hearing me, but they couldn't hear me. So now that you can hear me, this is called Take Off Your Shoes, and this is for people who have inflammation and pain, physical pain, mental pain even. It goes as far as that. And in the midst of figuring out that you couldn't hear me, I dropped everything. But I'm going to go off of this book today. It's called Earthing, and it's the most important health discovery ever, it says, by Clinton Ober, Stephen T. Sinatra, MD, Martin Zucker. And it's one of, if not the first book written. Well, thank you, Mindy. I appreciate that. It's one of the first books written on this, and they're still doing a lot of studies, but the studies they've done in this book, you should pick it up. It's incredible. Like, there's a whole list of diseases that earthing heals. And earthing, just to put it simple right at the beginning, is literally taking off your shoes. Taking off your shoes and going outside. And walking on the grass, the concrete, the pavement, like the sidewalk, the sand, or the dirt. And one thing that I found really interesting, their hearts, thank you, their hearts from my girls that are lost, that passed away. So they're not teardrops, but hearts in the form. Paul gave them to me. So I found out one thing that I thought was really interesting, because you think of grounding, you think of natural things, right? Like from the earth. Wood is an insulator, so it does not ground you. So people have asked, like, if you were hugging a tree or sitting close to a tree and touching it with your hand, is that giving you earthing? The only part of it that's giving you earthing is your feet on the ground while you're hugging the tree, because the tree is not a conductor to electricity. So the ground is an energy field. And what does that mean for us? Like, what does that mean for us? It means for us that we don't have to take handfuls of anti-inflammatories. We can go outside and take our fucking shoes off and earth and get our anti-inflammatory that way. And it's in this book, it's proven over and over and over with the clients that they tested this with. And they actually made... Mindy, I'm so sorry to hear that. I've lost 3 of my kids, and all from abuse. And that's, if you've been on here, that's been my story. Now I'm trying to turn it more to now how I've healed, and I'm healing, and still, of course, have hard times. It's fucking hard, and I'm sorry for you. Be sending you positive energy. It's the worst thing to go through. Like, I can't, yeah. But as far as this, it's like literally taking the time. So, we know a lot of things. We know a lot of things that we should and shouldn't do. Okay, we're awakening, We still all sit there on our phones. We still do the things. But when you start breaking that cycle of the old you and starting new patterns, that's the only way things are going to change for you. And that comes along with this. You have arthritis. Like, I have ulnar neuropathy. My arms, like, sometimes I wake up and I can't even move my hands. Like, it's so fucking painful. And I've started earthing, and I believe that it's going to work after reading this book. Like, it's the law of one, right? So the earth is us, we're the earth, and we heal each other. Everything that was made, there's a cause and effect from one to the other. And standing on the earth with our bare feet, and it can be your hands, you can put your hands on the earth, you can sit on the ground, you can put your legs on the ground, whatever it is, your body touching the ground is how you heal inflammatory problems in your body. God, Mindy, I'm so sorry. That's so fucking hard. I just buried my oldest daughter just this year, and I've come to this place that's really surprised me, and that's why I'm back on here, because I want to share, like, how I'm out of bed, how I'm smiling, and of course I'm grieving, but that's the break in my TikTok, is me grieving losing my daughter this year, and then doing so much healing, because if I didn't, I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't. My third child, fuck no, I wasn't going to make it. So I had to make a choice, because I have 2 daughters that are still alive. So I had to make the choice to figure out how to not just survive anymore, because that's just continuing my family's generational trauma bullshit that I'm so fucking tired of. I'm so tired of grieving. I'm so tired of losing people. I'm so tired of hurting, that I had to go down this journey. And it proved itself. Like, it proved itself. And thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Wolfgang. I'll give the information at the top to do that. So that's why I came to this place. And that's why all these things like earthing and awakening and all of the studying that I've been doing, you're balancing your chakras, it really has been my complete answer. It's been my absolute complete answer. I miss my daughter. I miss her every day. I do. But I am now able to do that, have grief, and still have joy for my other kids that are still here. And it's hard work, it really is, but I made it. And why do I always fucking cry when I get on a live? I'm sorry. So I made it, so you can too, is the bottom line. If you've been with me on this journey, the whole beginning of this journey was me sobbing, having panic attacks, having to shut my phone off. Hi, Vicky. Because it was so intense, reliving my trauma to share it with you guys, which is what I wanted to do, and I still want to. But I was reliving it every day on here, and for the purpose of you guys not feeling alone, because we all go through it in one way or another. And like Mindy losing her children too, that Mindy, that's my purpose right there. That person who's lost her kids. In sharing, but now I want to do both. I want to share how I'm healing, and not just having moments of healing, but healing. Like, I'm living a normal life. I'm enjoying my family. I'm enjoying my little one more than I ever have. I'm being a better mom more than I ever have. And it's because I've awoken, and I've not just awoken and kind of stumbled around confused. I've awoken and I've went hard. Like, I've studied, I've done the work, I've done my shadow work, I've researched, and I watched shows, and I've figured it out. I've figured out the truth for me. And there's been nothing that resonates like this. But as far as this earthing, it's I wrote some things out, so I'll just kind of start reading so I stay on track here. Same with me. Same with me exactly, Mindy. I have 2 girls and 3 grandchildren. Yeah, it's fucking rough. I buried my oldest in this January. And then my other 2 were, over a decade ago. But it doesn't matter how long, it's a mother losing their children. It's horrific. So the earth is alive and brimming with natural energies. The earth, the surface of the earth is alive. Did you know that the sand, the grass, the sidewalk, the dirt beneath your feet is an energy field? The ground is an energy field. And what does that mean for us and our pain? Like I said, it means our planet is a 6 sextillion metric ton battery that is continuously being recharged by solar radiation, lightning, all the lightning strikes every minute, every second of every day on the earth, and heat from the molten core. So it's constantly being charged from lightning, solar radiation, and heat from the core. And that is what is continuously charging the battery, the planet, the earth. So just like anything that takes batteries to keep it charged and going, from like toys, cars, whatever, the rhythmic pulses of natural energy flowing through the surface of our earth keeps the biological machinery of global life running in balance for everything, for us, for humans. It keeps us running. It keeps us running. And we got a disconnect from earthing when we invented rubber-soled shoes. Rubber-soled shoes. Oh, I got my connection back. Has disconnected us. We're all walking around out there with things that are deflecting the charge instead of bringing the charge. And it's so important. I'm 45. I'm not young anymore. I have pain. I do. And I go outside every day and I put my feet on the ground. And what I was starting to say earlier is, for people even who can't go outside, like bedridden people on hospice, they made these mats that they have a cord that goes out to a rod that goes out into the ground. So it's a grounding mat, an earthing mat. And you can put it underneath someone laying like in a hospice bed. And this man that is an example in here, it took people to lift him up, get the mat under his bed. He was like 6 months into the end of his life. Couldn't move, couldn't walk, couldn't grasp things, couldn't hold things. And they couldn't get him outside to ground him. So they put that earthing mat under him. And he lived. And a year later was walking. And he called the people who brought in that earthing mat. And he was like, hey, can you come over and help me with something? And they were like, okay, whatever. And they came over and the guy was standing outside waiting for them. What a moment. Like they had given him this as a trial. And he went from being on hospice in bed, unmoving, to standing at the gate waiting for these guys to show them. A year of earthing took him off of hospice. I mean, that's some real results, right? That's some real results. So it's just that simple. Really, all it is thought and time. Consciousness of doing it and time. Making 30 minutes, whether you get up 30 minutes earlier and go sit out and watch the sunrise, or go on your evening walk and take your shoes off instead of wearing your rubber-soled shoes and doing your fast walking, whatever. Just stand or walk without your shoes on. And it can be on a sidewalk, like I said, so that makes it a lot easier. For people who live in the city and stuff. Like I have a lot of property. I can just roll around in the grass all the time, but you can do that. Go to a park, whatever. But that's literally the answer to a lot of disease. Like I have a list. Diabetes is on here. Allergies, Alzheimer's disease, anemia, arthritis, asthma, autism, cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes types 1 and 2, on my body. And that earthing helps with that. Um, Intestinal disorders, kidney failure, lupus, multiple sclerosis, pain in general, pancreatitis, I'm probably saying that wrong, psoriasis, eczema, and more. So those are some significant diseases. Can you imagine if you've been doing insulin all your life and you go out in earth for a year, put your feet on the ground for 30 minutes a day, and that's gone? Like, can you imagine that? I can. I believe it. I believe it. The more pharmaceuticals we take, the more sick and crippled we become, and you got to believe that. Like, if you watch a commercial, if you take this, it'll take away this, but, common side effects are death, sickness, throwing up, loss of vision, going blind, all these crazy things, and we still take them. And we still take them thinking we won't be that 1% or, whatever. But there is that percent. Are those people that are losing sight, losing their life for taking medication. Like, that's a risk I'm really no longer willing to take. I'm just not. Not when the earth can heal us. Whatever source provided everything. We didn't need to make up all of the big pharma bullshit. But that's money. That's money. That's the earth. That's what this earth has turned into. And so it takes us to stop. It takes us to stop and to do this 30 minutes a day instead of taking your, 20 pills every 3 hours to keep your heart going. It's just, and also causing so many other horrific symptoms in your body. It's toxic. It's toxic. And what is less toxic than standing outside in the ground? It's just a no-brainer for me. And if nothing else, something to give it a try. I would say try it for a few months. Just try it for a few months. Like my daughter, she has a trampoline. She jumps on the trampoline and wants me to watch every jump and move she makes. So I just sit out there with my feet on the ground, and play with her and watch her. And I'm grounding and earthing at the same time. Yeah, Milena, that's what I'm saying. It's like a pretty new thing. And this is so far the people who have discovered it and written the book and done the research. And that's why I was really excited to share it with you. You do, if you really think about it, if you do go out and take your shoes off and sit in the grass, there's a reason you do that. It feels good. It feels good. And what you're feeling is that electrical charge that's actually healing the inflammation in your body. And the inflammation is where disease resides or is caused from. And so that good feeling, thank you so much. That good feeling we already know is there, so putting it to what it really isn't that hard. Like I said, all of these things that I've done to get better, to help my mental state, my grief, all the things have been simple things like this, but I've just had to do the work. You'll try anything. I would love to hear it, Milena. Then if you give this a shot, I would really love to hear some feedback, in a few weeks. Whenever you feel like you have gotten some results, please give me some feedback on here. I'll try to repost this so it's not just a live or just make another one. But I would really love to hear it because I plan on giving you guys my results, and I've been doing it for a while. I was at first out there like laying my arms out on the ground in weird ways and stuff because that's where I have most of my pain. But learning that really just your feet only have to be on the ground, but however you want to do it. And I'm like you, Milena, when I buried my daughter, I was at the point, I'm going to kill myself or I'm just going to try everything and anything. And I had already come to an awakening before my daughter passed. But when she passed, everything just went black. Everything just went black for me. And I was in bed. I was having this split personality, thinking in this part she was alive and over here she wasn't. Like there was different realities in my head, and I was losing it. You know, this was my third fucking child. Like I've had it. You know, I've had it with grieving and being sad. So trying anything is exactly what I did. You know, I listened to things about awakening and I followed suit. You know, these things don't cost anything. You know, it's just meditating and taking the time and being conscious enough to remember. You know, I'm doing this for my family. So something as simple as putting your feet on the ground without shoes on, you know, if that helps your physical well-being, when your physical feels better, your mental feels better, right? So it's just all the parts of the puzzle. And this puzzle that I have for you guys, it's all free. It's all free. It's just taking the time and the consciousness. It's Missy. It's actually Missy. Thank you. It's just being conscious to take the time to do it. Melissa Ann. Oh, your name's Melissa? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, my name's MissyLynne. Melissa Ann, MissyLynne. Lower back pain and all of the inflammation. That's what it is for. Earthing is for inflammation and which brings disease and brings other things. So I'm really excited for you to try it. And like I said, it's not a result in one time. I've had enough but yet I'm still here. And I have more joy now than I ever had in my entire life. And that's hard for me to say because it almost feels guilty, you know, like I have more joy now, but I do, you know, I can't change what happened. I can't, but I can change how I am to my children who are here. I can change the rest of my experience. I can change the rest of their experience. And I can hopefully stop the generational trauma that's picking us off one by one. And I'm sick and tired of it. So trying anything and everything is really such the way to look at it. You know, it really is. I started meditating, and for me, in my racing mind, it's so fucking hard. It was so fucking hard. And now it's like I look forward to it. It's second nature to me. You know, I can start meditating and immediately get visions and get downloads and things. And it took about, well, from beginning to now, about 3 years to get to where I'm at. But to say that I've buried 3 children and I have joy, real joy, is pretty fucking intense and sacred, really. Because I would have never thought, you know, I thought I was going to die alone and just miserable. And because of her and my other one, you know, I'm not. And that's not happening. It's not fucking happening. And I will do whatever it takes to continue on my journey of self-love, which I have now. And also, my borderline's gone. My borderline's gone from balancing my chakras. And I went back and forth with that with you guys for a while. But it's gone. You know, I don't even have those flares anymore where I'm like, am I going into a flare of BPD? I'm not. I'm so level-headed now. It's insane. Very different, right? Very different. And I, you know, I got really stuck with the grief and awakening. I thought this is going to take me away from it, but really it just pushed me through it. And I don't feel guilty. You know, my daughter would want this for me. You know, she believed in all of this, and we talked about it all the time. And I believe that me coming full circle was a gift from her. You know, and so I have to know, you know, and I believe in soul contracts. That was her soul contract. I used to, you know, talk, and I do still talk fast and get super excited, but I can feel, Jill, let's not do that. Let's not do that right now, okay? Jill.
Okay.
Thank you. There's a balloon stuck up there. But there is a calm about me, and my mind isn't racing. And that's what I started to say a little while ago. You know, I can sit down now to meditate, and I can just go to quiet. And I used to get so frustrated. They would want me to. And that's what they get to see now. You know, they get to look and see their mom living this life that does have joy and happiness. They see me laughing with their sisters, you know, and before they didn't see any of that. And so now I can at least feel like I'm doing what they would have wanted me to do when they were here. For their sisters, you know, and for myself. But I really would love it if you guys would take this journey with me, you know, and it's going to be up and down like it was before, but it's not going to just be straight trauma. We have to talk about the positive too. We have to bring those positive words out into the universe. And she does. She needs a happy, healthy mama, and she didn't for a long time. And it caused her a lot of pain, you know, and she's only 7. But now she's following suit. Like, I'm seeing her smile more. I'm seeing her be more of a child instead of a little adult trying to help her mom through trauma, which is not going to fucking happen again. You know, that's what Colette did. So I have many reasons for going down this road. And I intend to share every single thing that I've found and learned with you, because everybody deserves this. You know, I've talked a lot about people that I used to work with, that we would get them, you know, into being a functioning member of society after being in an abusive relationship, or whatever it was that they were trying to become safe from. And once we got them into their own home, you know, our job was done. And it's like, I've been thinking a lot on that. Bringing them joy would have been when the job should have been done. Not just teaching them how to white knuckle it through life, you know, and survive. And here's your house and figure out adulting. You know, the next step is joy, because what is the point if you can't fucking smile, and if you can't laugh with your kids, and if you can't enjoy your moments here on this earth? You know, we have to. If we don't have to, we can be miserable like I thought I would be for the rest of my life. Yeah, if you watched me when I first came on, then there's definitely a difference. Definitely a difference, you know, and that was needed. I needed to come on and do what I did. You know, looking back, it's intense, it's cringy, it's hard to watch. But thank you. Yes. Now and I believe my daughter gave me that peace, you know. I do. The peace, the insight, and the knowledge, you know, of where to go next, where to turn next. And I've just been following. And I can smile. I can laugh and smile, you know. And there was a time where my 7-year-old was telling me, you know, Mom, you don't tickle me and play with me and laugh anymore. And it was just like, fuck around, dude, I don't. You know, and what is the point? What is the point if you can't be in the moment? So we kind of really went off topic. But for those of you who actually said they wanted to try this, like you said, I would really love to hear your feedback. It's really, really an incredible thing. It says, when you have contact with Mother Earth barefoot outside, you're automatically are absorbing negative charges, because the earth has a negative charge, a natural negative charge, reducing electrical imbalances in your body, and the oxidative free radicals involved in chronic inflammation and many diseases. The body's natural electrical state is being restored. So it's just that simple. It's really just that simple. So you don't have to take the part of your body that hurts or is inflamed and put it on the ground. You can. It's not going to be, much difference. You know, your feet or your arms, whatever. Like yesterday, I was just laying all over the ground with all parts of my body. But it would have been no different if my feet were just on the ground. And like I said, it did say, if you're just sitting, put some water on the ground. It helps that conductive. It helps you connect better and get better charge. You know, so just a little bit of water in the dirt and make it a little bit of mud and put your feet in it Went to college. Aw, it's hard. I remember when my girls left home, I was so mad. Like, I was mad at them because I didn't want to miss them, and I knew I was going to miss them, and so I was just pissed. Don't leave home. It's hard. Empty nest syndrome is real. But I now have a 7-year-old, so that's not going to be a thing for me for a long time. But anyways, so plastic, rubber, glass, and wood are examples of insulation from the earth. Plastic, rubber, glass, and wood. So all of our shoes, our decks, even our beds with wood frames, all those things are keeping us from earthing. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. It does build me up and help and encourage me. I'm doing really well, but there are days that I'm just kind of teetering, and I expect that for a while, maybe for the rest of my life, but I'm balanced and I'm grounded and I'm aligned. For the first time in my life, I'm aligned, and that's the difference you see. I did go through and align all my chakras and do a lot of chakra work, and I want to revisit the solar plexus chakra because we were talking about borderline, and I'm going to research all of them because I think that each chakra plays a part in a different mental disorder. Because if you have an unbalanced solar plexus chakra, the symptoms of that chakra being unbalanced are all the symptoms of someone who has borderline personality disorder. And I saw that as I was studying and reading, and I just kept looking back and forth like, wait, so if you have borderline, you have identity crisis. If your solar plexus chakra is not aligned, you have identity crisis. I mean, down to the T. And so getting my solar plexus chakra aligned, I don't have borderline anymore. And I've seen people say that with aligning other chakras, like they don't have ADD anymore. Like there's an earthing, When you get help feeling physically better, you mentally start feeling better. You can mentally start focusing, and when I say focus, I lose my train of thought. Like that always happens to me. It's always going to be a part of me. I'm always going to be the pinball, but I'm happy and I am more grounded and I am a lot more calm than I used to be. Like my thoughts are slower and more conscious, and I'm more conscious throughout the day. I did the whole, do the thing, put your alarm on for every hour of the day so that you remind yourself every time the alarm goes off, am I conscious? Am I conscious right now? Do I know what's going on? Or am I on autopilot? Because if you haven't heard me say, 90% of every day, 90% of our thoughts are the same as the day before. We autopilot through life. We literally autopilot through life. And so if we're on autopilot, we're not going to think about doing these things. We're not going to think about going out and earthing. We're not going to think about things that aren't in our programming, which is our autopilot. So that's something else I want to teach you guys is how to uncondition your programming from when you were younger. Your programming starts when you're in an embryo to age 7. And then that's the person that you are. All of the things you've been taught, all of the things you've learned at school from your parents, all those things, that's what creates our autopilot. And so if you set your phone to go off every hour and ask yourself if you're on autopilot or if you're literally living in the moment, it's a really big life changer. It's a huge life changer. And that, and only that, allowed me to have the self-discipline to be doing these things. I'm consciously knowing today that I'm going to go outside and do earthing for 30 minutes. If I was still on autopilot, I'd be running around in circles, trying to figure out what I needed to do next, getting nothing accomplished, and just continuing to run around in circles, And so the book is called Earthing, the Most Important Health Discovery Ever. And it's written by Clinton Ober, Stephen T. Sinatra, MD, and Martin Zecker. So I would just really Google earthing. It's got some awards. It's an incredible read. It really is, because it has a lot of the trials that they did, like with people and the outcomes. And it's just amazing. It's not all like, oh, we walked on water after we grounded for a year, but it is, my inflammation went down, my pain went down. Those are significant things. We are living in a world, unfortunately, that is so toxic now. The pollution that we breathe, the food we eat, everything makes us sick and toxic. So we need to go back to the earth. We need to give that to the earth. Let it recycle it into to better energy. Give that back to the earth. We all need to heal together, the earth included. So that's my thought, my take on it. And the inflammation, sickness, and pain in your body are but a manifestation, in large part or small, of an electron deficiency. An electron deficiency. The remedy is as close as the earth you live on. So the ground is covered in electrons moving around, like billions, trillions of electrons moving around. And those are what give us that charge. So when you have an electron deficiency, that means you're not earthing, you're not connecting with the earth. Exactly. Like when you drive somewhere and you don't remember the ride. Exactly. That's exactly right. And there's so much more. There in this book, it's really cool. It shows, like, you can see here, they did, different views, different imaging of before earthing and after earthing. The inflammation, look at that. And then look at that after earthing. Like, this is proven, and it's real, and it's science. And acupuncture is also a huge thing. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that, but I have done it, and it is the biggest release. Yeah, you wrote it down. Okay, good. I was going to say I'll put it in the comments if anybody wants me to, or I'll just put a picture or whatever. But it's just, get the book. Unless you want me to read the whole fucking thing. Just kidding. But it's got some amazing stories, amazing pictures showing the differences. Like blood cells, before and after. Hey. My cat. I don't know if you can even hear her, but she gets really loud. So it's really informative. It shows people's, like, injuries before, earthing after. This is like a major ulcer. These things don't heal. I used to work for a doctor, and they just eat away. And this person did earthing. This is an overnight accelerated rapid wound healing. So there's different ways. There's accelerated, there's overtime, and there's just so much that I just don't have the time to, talk about all of it. But I mean, that picture was overnight grounding. And that's intense. That's really intense. So I am going to get off of here before it gets too long that I can't repost. But if this interests you and you have pain, if you have inflammation, if you have pain anywhere, which, like I said, I think we all do, pick up Earthing, the most important health discovery ever. It's got a picture of 2 footprints on it. And it's really amazing. And then, like I said, go outside, take your shoes off, just walk around and see what you feel. Do you feel any, like, tingling or electrical charges? We don't pay attention. We don't pay attention anymore. But if you pay the attention to what you're doing and what moment you're in, you're going to realize the sensations. You're going to realize what's happening in your body. You're going to realize that you're actually intentionally doing something that is helping you, instead of downing a bottle of pills that's harming you more than it's helping. So what I gather from the book, tired, I don't know how to say that, sorry, but I'm on the 3rd apartment floor, you said. Would it be grounded, beneficial at all? Would it be grounded or beneficial at all? or do I need to go outside only? So on the third floor, those kinds of things that they were talking about was getting like a grounding mat. And I don't know, I haven't looked into like the price of those kinds of things, but it's like attaching something to the ground, a rod to the ground, and then bringing it up to your apartment. But, to me that sounds difficult. Maybe it's not. Rheumatoid arthritis is a really, really, that's one that I would suggest you go outside and stand if you can. Even on the sidewalk, sit on the stairs, if there's stairs and a sidewalk, and read a book for a half an hour, or Google grounding or earthing mats, look that up. People put them on their beds and they sleep on them every night, and they're reaping the benefits, they're reaping the benefits. I haven't looked into that because, like I said, I have acres and acres of property, so I can just go outside anytime. I did, before I read the book, I thought wood was fine, so I did a lot of grounding that was not grounding at all, but now I'm doing it the right way. So yeah, as far as the person talking about living upstairs, I would look into grounding mats and just see what they have to say about that, because being upstairs, you've got wood, you've got all the things in between, and you're not getting much, I don't think, from that. If you have, I don't know what kind of flooring you have, concrete, I don't know. I'm in a one-story house, but I think there's ways. I know there's ways. I just don't know the cost to bring something into your home. But I do know going outside, whether it's just going to the park, sitting on a bench, reading a book for a while, if that's something you're capable, with rheumatoid arthritis, depending on how bad it is, I know sometimes you can't even get around, and it's horrifying, and I know that's what I'm in for, because my dad has it, and it's getting really hard for him to get around, and my pain is already so significant, and I'm 45, like I said. I know what's in my future if I don't take care of it, so I'm taking care of it now. So grab the book if you want more information, and I can do another podcast on this and give more further in-depth information, like, being on the third story and things like that, because that's a very valid, and so many people do live up in high rises and don't have that access. But what I gather, that's, like I said, what they have the mats for. They even have them for pets, grounding mats for pets who have anxiety or allergies or whatever, whatever. So they have them for pets and for people, and then the great outdoors. So thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate it, and I'm going to be back on here a lot more, and I'm going to be back on here a lot more spreading joy, and I am very always open to listening to your trauma and helping you through it. I'm going to cut back from talking about mine as much as I did. Like, I went through that healing phase. You guys all helped me. I couldn't have done it without this TikTok, honestly. I couldn't have gone through my healing the way that I did with you guys without this. So I appreciate it so much. Now I want to share the other side. And if you're not to that other side, I still want to help you. And I want to hear you on here, like someone did. I lost my kids too. There's something in saying it and sharing it. And if you ever feel like sharing something like that,